Wow, would you look at that? Some gender-confused kid who's currently going through puberty goes through puberty and then ends up gaining a clear perspective of their world. Wow, imagine that. It's almost like that's a much more common situation than this influx of current trans kids that's going around out there. Wow, imagine that. And we have a specific celebrity example of this right now from one of the most insufferable leftists that's out there. But thank God this is one of those examples where there weren't any experimental drugs being foisted upon this kid, that there weren't any, deleterious surgeries performed. Thankfully, they've been spared this, because this is a phase. This is a phase kids grow out of. Busy Phillips announces his daughter, Birdie, 15, has gone back to she, her pronouns almost 3 years. That would put her at 12, right about the time that there are very intimate changes happening in a young girl's life. Wow, imagine that when you start to, have certain things start to happen. Don't need to get too graphic, but obviously you know exactly what I mean when it comes to that. And then, oh my God, I don't want to be a girl anymore because, just a couple of days ago, everything was all hunky-dory, but now I'm going through all of these ridiculous changes, and what the hell is happening? Why can't we just go back to normal? And then giving them the option, well, yes, you can go back to normal if you want to take all of these drugs. If you want to think that, no, it'd be easier to be a boy. Maybe instead of thinking that it's easier to be a boy, maybe you are actually a boy. Oh, here's the first step along the way. Maybe you're going to be a they, them. Maybe it's something like that. And then it's also pushed on by the waning star that is Busy Phillips, who used to get work, but now, was much more known to have a trans kid. But now you have a detransitioned kid. Is that what we're doing here? Anyways, Busy Phillips announced this week that her daughter, which is, again, that's another big thing that's right there. Birdie has gone back to using she, her pronouns. Why is the mom making this announcement? Why can't this be a choice of the kid just going, hey, Mom, I'm a girl. Okay, cool. Then that's fantastic. I always knew you were, but that's wonderful. Why do you have to make this big press release about it? It's almost like this change wasn't for the kid. It was more or less for the benefit of the parent. The beginning of 2021, Busy had declared on their podcast that Birdie was gay and preferred to use the pronouns they, them. The beginning of 2021, Birdie was gay. 12-year-old. What the fuck is wrong with you? Now, nearly 3 years later, the 44-year-old, 41. Oh, okay, cool. Again, somebody post-wall trying to get the attention that they used to back in the... Oh, okay. See, all of these things that are just connecting right now, using the kid as a proverbial purse puppy. Interesting. The truth is, Birdie had decided that her pronouns are she, her. Busy informed the outlet Thursday night at the American Museum of Natural History Gala. The Cougar Town actress, which, maybe as a guilty pleasure or something like that, but I watched Cougar Town. Wasn't all that bad, mostly because it had the alumni of Scrubs that was on that. And again, I will be unapologetically a simp for Scrubs. That shit was great. And any sort of continuation of anybody that worked on that, I was looking to follow through on that. But anyways, back to this. Shares Birdie and her 10-year-old daughter Cricket. Oh my God, with her ex-husband, I feel pretty director, Mark Silverstein. Of course. Oh, and single mother? See, I kind of already thought that, but I didn't want to go ahead and, throw anything else on top of that. But yeah, once again, guys, single mothers are heroes, right? Definitely not forcing their kids to go ahead and, live out one of their wild fantasies without them having to do anything. But then at the same time, they can go, ooh, look at, I got a trans kid. Ooh, she's gay. Ooh, she uses they, them pronouns. Ooh, it's so great. Ooh, fucking evil. When she first announced that her eldest was gay in January of 2021, Busy said Birdie told us at 10 years old, and obviously I knew that Birdie knew. Oh yeah, exactly. A kid who would have been 10. All right, was 10, right? Obviously was, because she was 10. But in 2019, in 2019, obviously knew it. Oh, obviously, right? On her podcast, Busy Phillips is doing her best. Cap. She confessed that I said, Bird, I've been doing a bad job with the pronouns because Birdie said that they would like their pronouns to be they, them. And then when they said that, everybody that was in the room stood up and clapped. Busy shared that I haven't been doing it, and I've said because I have this public persona. Seriously, I didn't pre-read any of this stuff. I have this public persona. And I'm here telling my story about my kid. For you to tell me how great of a parent, unfucking believable. The lengths to which bitches will go in order to get external validation is fucking wild. And I want Birdie to be in control of their own narrative and not have to answer to anybody outside of our friends and family if they don't want to. Oh! And the bird was like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I want to talk about that I'm gay and out. You can talk about my pronouns. That would be cool with me. That's great, Busy asked Birdie. Okay, I'll talk. I can talk about that on the podcast. That's interesting that your kid at 10 years old is unironically to your face using fuck and saying that you're gay and out and knows all of the lingo. What the fuck else? Okay, for as much as I don't believe that this story actually really happened, I'm also thinking, what the fuck kind of conversations are you having with your kids? Creepy. I'd check Busy Phillips' hard drive, but that's just me. That's just me. A proud mother said. So Birdie, my out kid prefers they, them. I fucked up sometimes, but I'm trying my best to do that. She's co-hosting the podcast with I don't really care about all that stuff. You know, short-lived e-talk show. Yeah, Busy tonight, and nobody cared because, well, everybody else was busy. During their episode, they had discussed what Busy's suggestion that society just get rid of pronouns entirely. Why are we using them? Because they're important. It's like, why don't we just get rid of verbs? But yeah, of course, you got, customized Mickey Mouse ears, and we all know the only people that are left going to those places, who they cater to. This points out to a larger phenomenon. Shout out to Epoch Times for this excellent report. Parents' personality disorders, a driving surge in trans kids, according to psychiatrists. Yeah, no, exactly. Munchausen by proxy. That's a good one. Describes narcissistic parents. Narcissistic parents telling the story of their kids on their podcast, multiple podcasts. Can't be pictured without holding on to their non-binary kid. Interesting. Yeah, no, definitely. Munchausen by proxy is a term coined by the narcissistic parents who push so-called gender transitioning on their children, may be playing a role in the sudden rise of transgender children. Some experts say, you don't fucking say. Celebrities are increasing. Celebrities, interesting, in the limelight with announcing that their children who come out as transgender or non-binary. Non-binary individuals identify as neither male nor female. No, they're stupid. Munchausen by proxy isn't an officially recognized psychological condition, but it's a play on the official condition known as Munchausen by proxy, which is, of course, a mental illness that's also sometimes called medical child abuse or fictitious disorder imposed on others. It's exhibited mostly by women seeking attention. Fuck! How perfectly did I hit the nail on the head with this one? Okay, just gotta give myself a pat on the back here for a second. Oh my god, that feels real good. Feel real good. By exaggerating or making up an illness of children or others in their care. Munchausen by proxy is very real effect on society. Okay, they point to the headlines such as one of Pride.com in May, which gushes 15 celebrities who are out and proud of their trans and non-binary kids. The article praises stars such as Cher, which that was the original one, right? Chaz Bono, Sade. I don't know who that is. Jennifer Lopez. Oh my god. Yeah, and Charlize Theron. Yeah, when she's not too busy trying to shame men. It's like, why can't I find a man? Why can't I find a man? Okay, I'm looking for a stepfather for my kids. Actually, I'm looking for a father who could step up. Yeah, just continue to, fucking traffic kids out of Africa. Fucking crazy old bitch. She used to be so fine, but now she's just fucking lost her mind for supporting their children who reject their biological sex. Exactly. It's not like that's been pushed on them by a radical agenda that these parents hold. No, of course not. Another article by Pink News details how UK television star Carrie and David Grant claim that 3 of their 4 children are transgender or non-binary. Yeah, no, that's definitely not an unwell situation for kids. No, of course not. Ms. Grant is a singer and a voice coach. Her husband was part of the 80s band Lynx and worked with groups such as the Spice Girls. Oh, okay, cool, because they have all turned out to be such examples of society, except for Posh Spice. She fit in where she could, made the best out of her situation, 1000%. The couple told the publication they had discussed alternative gender identities before their children came out, of course. They're currently pitching their book. Oh, wow, imagine that, about their 3 out of 4 kids are just non-binary, and it's only a matter of time before the 4th one caves to peer pressure, and they got a book on the situation. Wow, imagine that, huh? But jumping ahead a little bit, because this is a big one. This is a big article, and I'll link to it, and if you guys can read through it at your own leisure, I would definitely encourage you, because this is a very important topic and something that I've articulated different videos beforehand, just thinking that, well, these single moms that tend to be out there pushing all of this shit that's out there, the grants excluded, obviously they're more the exception than the rule. But okay, you got these chicks that are out there who, graduate from having the purse puppy. Oh, they get the attention. Oh, the little cute dog that's in the purse. Okay. And then, oh my God, they get a kid, but then they don't like the baby daddy. He's just a piece of shit. He was just a sperm donor or anything like that. So that they can get all the attention and adulation, because you find this weird situation, okay, outside of the dramatized scenarios where you have the single mom, just working all of those jobs, living in the car and living in a van down by the river. How often in everyday life, if you live in a major city, or hell, even a smaller size city like I do, just go down. You just go down and you try to find some homeless people. Don't interact with them, because they're mostly scary, deranged individuals. It's not just people that fall through the cracks, another trope dramatized by Hollywood and blown out of proportion. But how many single mothers do you ever see that's out there? Oh, right, because society looks after their bad decision-making asses. So yeah, there's really no downside, because you get all of the cash and prizes from the government, and then of course everybody in society, outside of the small portion of the communities that are out there that just know better when it comes to dealing with single mothers, they are constantly heaped with all of the praise. Oh, you're heroes that are out there. Oh, you're doing all that hard work. Oh, that goddamn man who just left you in the lurch. Oh, he ain't worth shit. Okay, you're doing the best you can with what you have, and then they constantly get the handouts from everybody. And then even when that starts to dry up, even when the kid starts to go to school, that they don't get all the adulation from just having the constant reaffirmation of just having the kid right there, that you can't be easily identifiable as being a single mom. Oh wow, now you can have a non-binary kid. And then after the glitz and glamour of that wears off, then of course they can either grow out or chop off their hair and start to chop off or grow out other things. And then by that time, you have some disheveled human being that they could just go out there into the world. And if they want to say that they hate their mother raising them that way, or that they regret the decisions that were foisted upon them, oh yeah, no, then it's just an ungrateful kid that didn't, appreciate all of the hard work that the single mom did. Parent-fueled condition? I believe so. Erica Lee, a pediatrician in Spokane, Washington, who considers herself an old-school liberal. Yeah, I don't really care about that. Never liberalism. Never even fucking once. Not necessarily against gender transitioning. See, this is why. Never even once. She early in her career, she considered becoming a pediatrician specializing in gender dysphoria. Yeah, you know how you become an expert? Of course she looks like that. You know how you become an expert in gender dysphoria when it comes to dealing with kids? Oh, you think you're gender dysphoric? You're not. Next patient. However, she began to question why doctors were advocating for medical procedures to transition children without solid scientific evidence. Well, guess what? You're never going to find that solid scientific evidence that the procedures came with an overwhelming benefit for their young patients. Because guess what? It's not about the young patients. Recent years, many are in favor of gender-affirming care. Gender-affirming care? No, it's child butchery. Call it for what it is. And argue that medical interventions save lives by reducing, the self-deleting tendencies in youth. But then you start to, compare and contrast that against the 42% completion rate for people who go through with the full dog and pony show, then you really start to wonder what's going on here. Dr. Lee now, in some cases, sees another force at work: patients with personality disorders, narcissism, which has similarities to Munchausen's by proxy, may contribute to the proliferation of gender dysphoria claims and shouldn't be ignored, she said. Exactly. Ugh. And you'll always find, okay, tangent for a second, with these advocates that are out there, there's never anybody that's fuckable. I'm just saying, for all of these marches that they go on, you think that they would eventually lose some weight. Narcissism, as some of those mothers, has to be exposed. Oh, Dr. Lee said, she's speaking against the sisterhood. This should get spicy. Mothers in particular may use the attention from having a transgender child to climb the social hierarchy. She said, stop telling tales out of school. Continue. She's not the only medical professional to feel this way. No, I could say that, it's fairly reliable. All you need to do is just scroll the social media profiles of all of these women and you will find specific attention-seeking behavior. I'll guarantee it. You don't need to feel a certain way, because I know this shit. Yeah, they're dark triad women. Yeah, dangerous. Stay away from them the moment that they show up. Okay, Myron from Fresh and Fit podcast just, exposed me to one, and it's like, wow, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Connected another dot for me. If you're dealing with a chick and she has her own picture as her phone background, as her lock screen, as her home screen. That bitch is a narcissist. And it's like, wow, that totally makes sense. And I was thinking, it's like, yeah, she would have her glamour shots that are up there. She would have her own, like selfies or something like that. No. These chicks who are out there, oh my God, I was on a holiday trip and I just have me in the center. I just look the most glamorous in a lineup. And it's like, I can think of at least 3 chicks like that just off the top of my head. Or it's like, wow, hey, you guys went on vacation, but that's your profile picture, huh? That's very strange. But yeah, just other little red flags, obviously. Thought I'd pass that along. Those exhibiting the dark triad expression Machiavellianism. Okay, use the deception to win power. Of course, yeah, this is a part of the dark triad, as you can see. Machiavellianism, psychopathy, and then narcissism. Of course, also express underlying psychopathy, such as, amoral behaviors. Exactly. It's just basically all about them. Anything that they can do in order to further their own position, regardless of what the thoughts and the feelings of anybody else. As long as they're the ones to benefit, there is nothing that is off the table. Munchausen by proxy. Yeah, of course. In February, Jamie Reed, a former case manager at Washington University Transgender Center at St. Louis Children's Hospital. Need a longer title for the place that you work at. Exposed practices at the clinic and described parents, who were adamant about transitioning their children. Her revelations became the catalyst for Missouri lawmakers to draft a law barring hormone therapy for minors. In July, articles appearing in LGBT Courage Coalition, Miss Reed wrote about how children at the clinic were victims of the parents' own psychological needs. As horrible as it is to say, I did see parents, particularly moms, again, shocker, who showed signs of Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Ms. Reed, a lesbian and mother of 5, described how the clinic tore families apart from both parents didn't agree to putting their children on hormones. Oh my God, there was another super sad tale of that. I think that was at the end of 2020. It might have been the case, but there was a father up here in Canada who was trying to get custody, and there's multiple other tales of this. I just remember this one specific instance. He was trying to get custody after his wife filed for divorce, wanted to move to Vancouver in order to have their daughter to transition, right, to become a boy, and put her under the care of a doctor that basically specializes in that shit. Not how to counsel a kid through these, difficult thoughts, but no. He has like a 90% completion rate. He has a better close rate than Bill Cosby. And there was something, he got held in contempt of court because he kept dead naming his kid. Ugh. Fucking gross. I hate all of this. Fathers often attempt to stop the medical transitioning of their children, she wrote, and staff often referred to those fathers as idiots or said they have patriarchal issues. You should be shot. In Minecraft, sort of, through the mouth, Kurt Cobain style. Often the dads were fighting the most reasonable things, more time in therapy. Fuck off with your therapy. It's conditioning. That's what this shit is. Therapy with a provider who could actually explore where his child's desires to escape his or her own body. Exactly. People that are just going to reaffirm, oh, okay, cool. You think that you're a girl? Okay, here's your estrogen that you need, and you'll just go ahead and leave your dick and balls at the door. Okay, that'd be great. Likewise, in the UK, Tavistock and Portman gender clinics accept about 30 children under the age of 5 in a 2-year period, ending in 2022. According to that, about half were younger than 4. I want to die if I continue to read this stuff. But yeah, man, that's what we're dealing with, obviously. Malignant narcissism. All right, fantastic. Dr. Vatkin, okay. Sam Vaknin, who has a PhD in physics and certification in psychological counseling, so he's a smart man, studied pathological malignant narcissism since the mid-1990s. I would consider him to be an expert. Many parents resist the idea that their child could be transgender. However, some parents enjoy the attention they receive when their child comes out as transgender. A trans kid renders them special, renders them unique. It's a badge of distinction. Of course, this kind of narcissism isn't the same as Munchausen syndrome by proxy, he said. Parents affected by MSPB seek the attention of medical professionals under the guise of diagnosing puzzling medical conditions. But, Munchausen by proxy really does have a good ring to it. But like I said, I'll provide a link to this article down in the description below. I think that is very interesting. There's a lot of specific examples, but as we're seeing with the likes of Busy Phillips and one of Angelina Jolie's kids, who was wearing a dress for a while, but ended up, wow, imagine that, in and around 15 or 16 years old, realized that, actually, I'm a boy. Weird how all of that stuff happens. After all of the more traumatic changes happen post-puberty, wow, kids just kind of settle down with who they are inside of their body at a very, very expeditious rate. And the only people that want to be affirmed as being they, them are people who are just so totally unexceptional in real life that they need to just take the path of least resistance, the path of the least amount of work, in order to get just a modicum of attention in regular everyday life. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.